guys, Frick back again. It's been a while and I apologize for that. Tonight we're going to do a brew video. It's batch number 20. Actually, it's batch number 20 and 21. We're going to do two batches tonight, and we're going to do something a little different than I did in my first video. In my first video, in case you haven't seen it, we did a Cooper's Mexican Cerveza, I believe, and I think we just did a basic kit, and I used some dry malt extract, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment below. Anyways, so tonight it's keeping in tune with good old Craig from Craig 2. It is late at night. Kids are all going to bed. Actually, my wife, Frack, or Fran, is with me tonight. She's upstairs just grabbing some stuff. We bottled two batches just a few minutes ago, and now we're going to fill up those fermenters and get things going. So tonight we're going to do number one, Cooper's Stout, kit and kilo, plus we're going to do some addition here, some hop addition, so I'll show you all that. Things are heating up on the stove back here, as well as a Cooper's Dark Ale. I'm brewing some winter beer here. It's the fall here in Ontario, and winter's coming up, so I want to brew lots of nice dark beers for the winter beer. If you take a look around you, this is back in the brew room that I kind of showed you in one of the, I think it was my first video, the Mexican Cerveza video. This is where I would put the fermenters on this shelf, actually. Things have changed a little bit, and we're starting to make some changes in the basement and changes to how we do things around here. And I am slowly but surely putting together a brew room. So, as you can see behind me, I've put in a gas stove. It's a makeshift fan you can see up there. I have a fan coming, like a ventilation kitchen fan coming, but for now we gotta have something. So that's all there. The gas stove. The sink is coming, so I haven't got a sink down here just yet. That's gonna go over here. That's coming next week. Once I get that all plumbed in, then I can do everything down here. But what I've already done thus far is I've washed and sanitized everything upstairs in the kitchen. It's all ready to go here. So that gives you a little bit of an update as to what's going on around here. It's been a busy time of year. We've been doing canning and harvest time and everything else, so it's been a crazy time. I've still been brewing batches here and there, even helping some friends do brews here as well. So that's been a lot of fun. I get to also, help friends learn from what I've learned. And now I get to, help you guys learn. Hopefully you pick up something. Like I said before, we learn as we go, right? Now, something I did learn, I've brewed a couple of batches of stout already, and one thing I did learn is that if you use just your typical 5-gallon pail fermenter and you do a 5-gallon batch, there's just a little bit of headroom in those pails. And what I found is every time I did a stout batch, it overflowed. Like to the tune of, it almost blew the lid a couple of times. I was very lucky and nothing happened. However, I'm not taking that chance anymore. I've seen a video. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put a link to the video of what happened to, if you look up and type into the search, Imperial Stout Blowout or something like that. Anyways, you'll see this video of a guy that did an Imperial Stout and the thing exploded. So what I did is I went and picked up a new fermenter for stout. This is the 30-liter container, so I can do a 5-gallon batch in here, fill it up to the 23-liter mark, and have lots of headroom. So I've got everything sanitized back here. I've actually started some boil here for everything that we're going to need to rinse out the cans, to get the cans heated up and sanitized and everything else. So we'll get all that going and we'll bring you back in, okay? Okay, things are coming along nicely here. I took the labels off the cans. Now I'm doing two batches and I have different types, so I've kept the yeast with a piece of the label so I know which goes with which. So keep track of that stuff. Also, to fill you in, tonight we're using 500 grams of medium dry malt extract on each batch. Okay, they're both dark beers. Ooh, medium. Medium DME, Muntins. Okay, there it is. 500 grams each, as well as 750 grams of dextrose for each one. Also tonight we're doing a hop addition, which is why we're doing some big boils over here. So we have 2 ounces of hops. One is Pearl. This has been my favorite hop thus far. Why? Don't know. Love the flavor, love the aroma. Pearl hops. The other one I have is Willamette. The Willamette is going to go with the dark ale. The Pearl is going to go with the stout. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but you know what? That's how I'm going to do it, because I like it. So there we go. So the fact that this brew room is in the works means that I kind of have to do things a little differently than I typically would and work with what I got, right? So I have my little counter here. I have countertop coming as well, so I'm going to actually install some countertop here. Nice 5 feet of it. So that'll be nice once that's installed. The sink and a nice countertop over here to work with, but for now I have a little table over here that I'm using just for something to put stuff on. And carry on. You go work with what you got. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect to brew beer. As long as things are clean and you like what you're doing, keep doing it. Don't worry about buying the top of the line stuff. Don't worry about making sure the brew room's perfect before you brew. I don't even have drywall up everywhere. Who cares? Eventually the plan is to have drywall, tile, nice backsplash everywhere, tile floor. Right now I'm standing on concrete. Who cares? It's beer. It turns out really good. Take my word for it. Alright, so step number 1, when we start getting the water up to boil, we want to get all of our sugar in the water before it gets too hot, so that can all dissolve, and we'll be adding our hop addition to that to let boil. So I'm just going to add the malt extract to the first pot that's coming up to a boil. Now this stuff here is very fine powder, and chances are if you've got steam coming up like I do, you're going to get some stuck to the inside, but I rinse that out with a little bit of water. You want to get every last bit of that stuff. It's good fermentable sugar, and it's not just dextrose, so it's going to add some nice flavor and a nice mouthfeel to the beer. When you're adding your sugars, you want to make sure that you stir them in really well so they don't go to the bottom and burn to the bottom of the pot. Things are getting hot here, so we're just going to keep stirring this until it comes to a boil. I have all the sugars in there now. Soon enough, it'll be time to add my hops to this. These two are, I have all the sugars in, they're dissolved, stirred up, and both are coming up to a boil now. On the back I have this kettle boiled so that I can rinse out the cans like I've showed you before, because we want to rinse out every drop of the malt extract from the can. I also have another one boiling over here so that I can actually get this can heated up and sanitized, the lid, and heat it up so that the liquid comes away from the top. This is very thick, so chances are this is the bottom of the can because the yeast comes on here and the cap on. So the only way to open it is the bottom, so you want all the extract to come away from the bottom. So yeah guys, I just want to say I'm doing 2 batches at the same time here. It can be a little bit hectic. So just make sure that you're prepared, you have everything set. You got to keep it organized or you're going to make a mess. There's one of these pots here. I don't have 2 big pots like this one. This one here has a little bit less head space on it, so I'm going to have to keep a close eye on that one so we don't get a overboil when the hot break hits. Who knows, it might not hit at all, but we'll see. We're coming up close to a boil here. I'm going to try and get the camera set up so that you guys can see what's going on here, okay? So we got 2 angles set up at the same time. Thanks to Frack over here, she's getting me all set up. It'll be up to her if she wants to be in the video. Okay, so once I get things set up and the boil starts, we're going to add the hops. I just wanted to add that extra angle over here so that you guys can kind of see what's going on as the boil hits. Alright, trying different camera angles here, so now you can actually see the iPad and my makeshift tripod again. Fran was laughing at me tonight because of my makeshift tripod, and she wanted to make sure that it got in the video, so she changed the camera angle on me. So we are coming up to a boil here. I am getting my timers all set up So we are going to do a 5-minute boil plus 1 minute, which is a full 6-minute boil, but the only way I can explain it is 1 minute's going to be with the flame on, boiling, and then I'm going to flame out and let it sit for 5 minutes. So 6 minutes total, 1 minute flame on, 5 minutes with the flame out. That's just what I've been doing, and I seem to like what's the results, the bitterness, the aroma. It's capturing everything that I would like from those hops. So I'll get the timer going here because my first pot is boiling here. Okay, so this small pot, we're going to make the stout. So in the stout, we're putting pearl hops. So it's just coming up to a boil here. I'm sure you can see that. I'm going to wait to see if we get a hop break. Okay, so we'll let that get going. Want a good rolling boil. We're at a good boil here now. It's good and rolling, and I don't think we're going to get a hop break. It doesn't look that way. It seems to be controlling itself. Now we probably will get some sort of reaction or hop break action when I add the hops. So here it is, Willamette, 28 grams or 1 ounce Willamette hops going in, and the 6-minute timer will be started now. So we're just going to keep a close eye on that as you've got the hops in there. You can see it turn that really nice green color. I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit. Okay, and we're going to give that a bit of a stir here. I'm just going to keep my hand on the heat just in case I have to turn it right down, because we could get that hop break still. There's always that chance, right, that it could hit. And actually, you know what? We are looking good. We're just going to let that boil for the minute. And this other one here is just starting to come up to a boil now, which is perfect timing, so we're a little bit staggered. This time it's been a minute now, so we are going flame out on that one. Okay, so the flame is out. We're just going to let that sit for another 5 minutes. Now this one's coming up to the boil. We'll give it a minute to hit that hop break in case it happens. The only reason I can give to the fact that I don't get hop breaks is the fact that I use RO water. Other than that, I don't know what I'm doing differently, because I've only had one hop break. And if I'm not mistaken, I used tap water on that batch. So here it is, 1 ounce, 28 grams of pearl hops going in the big pot for the Cooper's Dark Ale. And there it is, and timer started. Give it a good stir. I got some on the wall here, so I'm going to try and get that in there. I'm going to leave that for 1 minute with those hops nice and boiling. Okay, 2 minutes to go in that first one, and we're almost at the minute here. And there it is, guys, a minute on, flame out. So we have a minute and a half with this first one. Now what I've got here, all sanitized and ready to go, is a nice sieve. I'm going to pour it through that so I can collect all the hops. I don't like all those hops going in there, and actually I haven't used this yet, so I might need some help from my partner over here in holding this. Look at that beautiful arm. Hold on. Okay, so we are 50 seconds out. Let's make sure Our spigot is closed before we put anything in there. Now I'm pretty sure that I've shown you guys my method in cooling my wort after a boil or after anything. I use ice cubes. I make ice cubes with little Tupperware containers and some big Tupperware containers. Ladies, if your husband's making beer and you're missing all your Tupperware containers, that explains it. My wife is very, very understanding in the fact that I've taken all of her little Tupperware containers. And they're in the freezer with RO water. Here we go. We are 2 seconds out. That timer's gone off. We're going to hit that one. So we've got about 3 minutes to get this poured. I've already burned myself once tonight. And I'm not about to do it again, so I'm putting oven mitts on for this. And here we go. We're going to pour this out into our fermenter through the sieve to collect the hops, so that we don't have all those hops sitting in there while it's fermenting. Okay. So there we go. We're going to let that drain for a minute. I'm going to put that pot aside. Now, all of our sugars are already in there. We're going to let that drain for a minute, and I'm going to open up the can and pour the extract in there and get stirring this. So there we go, the hops are drained and can opener sanitized. Open up the stout kit. There we go. Oven mitts, because this has been sitting in hot water for a while, so it's going to still be warm. Oh, I wish I had more space down here. There we go. I'm going to leave that in one hand. Okay, we're going to keep stirring that and keep it off the bottom. Okay. Oh, that stout is so dark. Man, oh man. It's tar. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. But this stuff is tar. I'm trying to scoop out as much as I can and get it in the fermenter before we sit it down and start adding hot water to it, but that's good enough for now. So Vanna here is going to pour some hot water in there. There goes our other timer. So our 6 minutes is up. I'm just going to pour that. I'm going to leave this here sitting because that's okay. And I'm going to pour that other one into my fermenter. So there we go, guys. Timer's gone off on that second one. The stout's sitting. This one here, this has got the pearl hops and it's the dark ale. We're going to pour that through the sieve. I didn't make sure my spigot was closed, but I'm pretty sure it is. There we go. Poured. We'll let those drain for a minute. I don't know if you guys come down here and see this, but look at that little hop bile. Mmm, yummy. Okay, so we'll let that drain.
We should eat it.
I wish you could eat it. Okay, so we're going to come back up here and we're going to rinse out this can that's been sitting now. This little knife works really, really well for getting in there. Now the lid is clean. Oven mitts. Please use oven mitts when you do this because that water is hot.
Safety first.
Safety first. Pour that in there. And look, actually we're not too bad, but there's a little bit on the bottom yet. So I am going to rinse that out one more time. A little bit. Stir that around. And there we go. Check it out. Clean. Okay, so now all that needs to be done is we need to cool it, get it to the proper temperature and the proper level, which is 23 liters. 23 liters. And pitch the yeast. We're done. Well, there you have it. Both filled up to the 23 liter mark. Temperatures are down. We're at 77 here. We're good to pitch our yeast. The fermentation room over there sits right around 73 to 75. It's perfect. Okay, we're just going to check the temperature on this one with the thermometer again. So this one's still sitting around the 80 mark. But again, it's not too bad. Again, that'll just get the yeast activated really quickly. If it was 82, I'd still pitch it. 84, I'm not going to do it. I'd wait. That's kind of my limit. But I'm happy with 80. 77 over here, 80 over here. Should have had maybe a little bit more ice, but that's okay. And we're going to take samples and see where we are. So again, we this time around we added 500 grams dry malt extract and 750 of dextrose. I'm expecting a little bit of a higher reading. Wait for those bubbles to subside. And it looks like we're sitting at 1040, so 1040 once again. That's good for me. And we're going to spread our yeast all around that foam top. Nice and evenly as we can. Clean it out. Bam! Done. I am super excited to have this first batch in a brand new fermenter. Make sure it's sealed up nice and good. Okay, we're going to get our airlock. There we go. Give that a twist. And some water. Got that right there. Snap our lid on, and we're just going to do a little check here. And we got a good seal. Perfect. Excited. So all that's left now is clean up. Now it won't be too bad because I clean up as I go. I'm going to put both of these over in the fermentation room. Alright, I'll be right back. So here's my fermentation room. Just give you guys a glance. I got a batch of pear wine there that's ready to bottle. Do that sometime later in the week. Maybe do a review on how that turned out and explain what I did there. I'll do a kind of like a, I don't want to call it a Homebrew Wednesday video because it's not going to be a Wednesday, but it'll be just a homebrew update video. Okay, so there's the two we did today. Okay, so the Cooper's Dark Ale in the taller one and the Stout in the nice new fermenter. And that little thing over there in the corner, that is some sauerkraut that we're making, trying it for the first time. And it ferments, so it's in the fermentation room. Alright, so there you go. Well, there it is, guys. Double brew done. Double bottle batch today too. Busy day, lots of fun. I enjoy doing it. Anyways, sorry for all the ums and ahs again. So this is, well, I think the first batch of stout I did. It's fantastic. I did a hop addition just like we did tonight. And also used the dry malt extract. Now, I'm going to try and get in here and show you guys. Sorry about that. So there you go. You can't see that too well, but it's still young. It's about 3 weeks old maybe now. And it still doesn't have a lot of head retention. So I've heard of head retention aids being maltodextrin added to the batch, as well as something called gelatin, I think it is, that can help with that. But it's not too bad. It's a nice dark color. You can't see through it even up to the light. I'd show you, but there's nothing to show you. You can't see through it. Beautiful, tasty, fantastic beer. It's really, really good. You get that really deep malt flavors. I almost sometimes taste a little bit of chocolate in there, so there's got to be some chocolate chocolate addition in the grain when they do this. Very, very. I don't want to use the word thick, but it's a heavy beer, and I mean it's good. It's really, really good. I'm not an expert in telling you guys about the beer. I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's got nice lacing. It tastes fantastic. It's stout. Really good flavor. The hop addition you can really grab. The hop profile, the bittering effect that it gives, and the aroma's there. So it's fantastic. I could never go back to drinking just commercial beer. Like, I mean, if I'm in a situation I have to, obviously. I don't think anything like that's going to happen where I have to drink a commercial beer. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Fran and I, Frack and I, we want your feedback. We'll be adding more content soon. I apologize that we haven't had more content in the last little while. It's just been so busy. We have 4 kids running around, so it gets kind of crazy at times, and I don't have all that time. But more content is coming, and I hope you subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of cool stuff coming. This channel, I said before, I want it to be something where you learn how to do all this stuff at home. Homemade bread, homemade this, homemade that. Everything at home. We homeschool, so it's part of our lifestyle. The channel has kind of started because it revolved around beer, brewing beer, but that's okay. Beer's good. I enjoy brewing beer, and my wife, I like helping her do other stuff. I just showed you the sauerkraut we're making right now. We're fermenting out, and Frack did some other canning that she has a video on. It'll come up soon. My oldest daughter Jasmine did a video about making a bracelet, I think, and doing some sort of craft. So again, we're going to have all this content coming up. Please be patient with us. Subscribe and all that stuff will come your way. Comment. Please leave your comments. Give me feedback. I want to learn how to make these better. And you'll be able to kind of see as the progression happens. The brew room comes to fruition and gets better every time. Okay, so stick with us. Hope you learned something today. I'll see you next time. The beer's almost empty, so it's time to say goodnight. See you guys. Cheers.